broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Last time we'll hear this.
This is really sad. I'm just going to let it play for a minute.
For now, not forever.
You're right.
Until 2016. Black Sails brethren, we are back. How we doing, everyone? Welcome to the Black Sails AFTERBUZZ TV After Show. I am your hooks, Ryan. I am your hooks. I'm so sad that I don't even know what to say.
Start.
I am your host, Ryan Hooks. And you can get me at RyanHooks92 on the Twitter and the Instagram. I'm depressed, ladies. To my left, Lauren Salaun.
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter at Lauren Salaun.
And I am your hooks. Sorry.
You are my hooks?
I'm sorry. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jamie S. Elias.
You know what? I am your hooks. I am the only hooks that you need in your life.
That was phenomenal.
I am the captain, the one and only. You guys, thank you for joining us here at the AFTERBUZZ TV studios, episode XVII. I had to get that last one in there. Season 2, episode 10, the finale of season 2. So, first off, what did everyone think?
You know, I think on a lot of levels it gave me what I was hoping for. I really wanted that pirate, pirates banding
The
together.
brethren.
Yeah, banding together and being piratey and friends, But I think it also lacked a little bit of the sneakiness and the backstabbing. I think
Since we got so many episodes of
get.
building up and plotting and too much,
There were a
democracy
few
and-
less twists than I expected.
Totally.
Yes.
I totally agree with you. I mean, it didn't feel like a filler episode by any means, but it didn't have that shock value that I was
You
looking
expected
It was a
more
crowd
of a
pleaser,
cliffhanger.
I feel
Especially after the last episode where I just got shot in the head point blank, and we were all so thrown through a loop that I feel like I don't know.
Well, they had to bring us down easy and let us slide into the next season, I think, is what
That's a
they
good
did
point.
there. I disagree. I liked it. I thought it was action-packed. And I thought that it was very well written, and I liked a lot of the things that they're setting up for season 3. Speaking of season 3, before we go any farther, let's talk about my favorite piece of news and gossip that we got this week. In case anyone was wondering, yes, that is correct. Since I've been saying it for how many weeks now? About 5, I would say.
Every week.
Every week. Blackbeard the Pirate has been announced as an official member of the cast. Ray Stevenson will be portraying Blackbeard. I actually was really shocked by the fact that they announced it before the finale.
Or that they didn't show it in the
Yeah,
finale.
that seemed like it was just a weird, I think it got leaked.
You're probably right.
I actually heard that there's a character who plays Ray Stevenson, Blackbeard's girlfriend in the series, who put a Twitter message out about her and Ray Stevenson on set in Cape Town, and it got deleted by Starz, and I'm sure it was a big thing because I heard some people say they saw it and saw the information, so I'm sure that's probably why they released it, because it's out there now. And
Fire.
somebody's getting severely lashed by Starz and all that stuff. But no, I'm actually really excited. I think Ray Stevenson is an awesome cast choice for Blackbeard. Some of my favorite Ray Stevenson roles, obviously, is King Arthur. I liked him as Porthos in the Musketeers, which I hated that version of the Musketeers, by the way. Let me just...
Thank you for clarifying.
Don't get me started, because I'm a big Musketeers guy. There's a whole great series on BBC, actually, that I watched. It's been 2 seasons now. And also, he played Titus on Rome. So I feel like that's a good correlation to the type of character he's going to be playing as Blackbeard.
Totally. Kind of scruffy, mysterious.
He looked great.
he
They
does.
put that
Looks
picture out of
great.
him. I tweeted it out, I think, too, probably. He looked really great as Blackbeard. Super looking forward to that. So I actually also want to thank everyone. Thank you for watching us for the season, for commenting on our YouTube, for all the above. So make sure you follow us on our iTunes and our YouTube and our SoundCloud at AFTERBUZZ TV, and also us on Twitter. You can follow us after the show and leading into next season of 2016, whenever that may or may not be. And I actually want to comment on one comment that I saw on YouTube this week that I really thought was interesting. Okay, so we didn't get any Eleanor Guthrie in the season finale.
Nothing.
I'm okay with
Nothing.
that.
Which
I am too.
I mean, is her?
know, we're
Some
such
people
haters,
thought that
but I
maybe
feel
her
you.
course has run its course, if you will, and she's
Oh, she'll
adrift.
come back.
To use another, she'll be back, I think, as well.
back.
But somebody actually made a comment that this was Miss Pat Smith 26, by the way.
Thank you,
that,
Miss Pat, for contributing.
That maybe Mary Read could save Eleanor because she was a Royal Marine and she was in the Royal Navy before she became a pirate. I like you for that because I've been talking about Mary Read
I know,
as well.
we're waiting for Mary Read to arrive.
So that's actually a really good thought, as a possibility that maybe Mary Read saves Eleanor, or possibly that Eleanor also convinces the people that have her captive the same thing she convinced Underhill, and that they're going to end up coming back with her to the island. That she can help them take the island and maybe, you know, take out all the pirates. So who knows? Thoughts?
I could see that angle, her bringing them back to the island, because she has the last few episodes been so adamant to say that she is not a pirate and she's not a bad person. You know, she's an English woman and a businesswoman, blah, 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 all that. But I don't know. Based on how she's been throughout the show so far, such a strong female character, I don't think we're done with her. I'm okay with her being in a little timeout for a little while to kind of, you know, hone in her explosive actions and you know, think a little bit before she jumps into doing something. But I don't think she's done.
I think I have like hopes for Mary Read that's not that. Like, okay, and these I could be way off because the story so far in the show has been really historically accurate. Yeah, there's this and that here and there, but so far it's been pretty.
We call that historical adjacent here at AfterBuzz.
Exactly, pretty historically adjacent. Yes. But like, what if she comes back, and what if they throw us through a loop and she's Mary Read, or you know what I mean? Like she comes back as Mary Read, or Max turns into Mary Read. Like we have no clue who Mary Read could or is. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just so. I hope that Mary Read is more dramatic than just her saving Eleanor, and I don't mean to like talk so much crap about Eleanor. I just don't think like.
But you don't really like her.
No, like as a character, I just think she either needs to develop or be cut. Like, you know, I don't know. I just something big needs to happen with her, or I'm not interested anymore.
Yeah, she's just been so impulsive this whole season. I feel like, and flip flopping with who she's loyal to, and I'm getting a little tired of it.
Totally with you.
Well, maybe Vane will bring her back in, tame her down.
Vane, no. Vane,
you can do better.
Yeah,
Vane,
you can do better.
Vane, you could do so much better.
Gosh.
Go save
there
Abigail.
There are two beautiful ladies right here in the panel that would be happy to be
Hey,
anything for you, Charles Vane. Oh, hey.
I'll be your Mary Read.
Hashtag Team Vane. Whoa.
Right,
Chance Elias, you better simmer
okay.
down.
I'm simmered, I'm sorry.
I had something else that I was going to talk about, and I totally forgot. Oh, nope. Oh, okay, I got it back. I'm back. Here it is. So do you think that with Eleanor, and back to this, that we are, I think one of two things is going to happen, and tell me if you agree or disagree, that we're either going to see her at the very top of season 3, or we aren't going to see her for several episodes, like 4 or 5.
Well, they did the same thing with Billy Bones, right? They took him, and it's a totally different situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's the same at all, but like they have taken a character away for a couple episodes to make them relevant again. And I kind of think that's what they need to do with Eleanor. If they're going to bring her back, they need to take her away for a little while so that we can reacclimate to an Eleanor that we might be different.
I wouldn't say 4 or 5. I could see her not showing up for
The
like
first
2
two.
or 3
totally.
episodes, and then maybe getting a glimpse of her like we did with Billy. But I don't know. I feel like maybe we wouldn't see her right off the bat in the beginning.
I
thought it was a little weird that we didn't see her at all in the finale. You know, she's been every episode this season.
Yes.
And
every episode of every episode.
Yeah, every episode. So it was a little weird, kind of threw things off a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think it disturbed the storyline too much.
And I don't think it disturbed the audience either.
Yeah, right?
No one seemed to be minding that Eleanor was gone.
It was
we
a
spent
bro fest.
an absorbent amount of time talking about her now that she's gone and we don't even care. All right, so what was your favorite moment this episode?
I had so many favorite moments.
I know there was a lot of great moments. I had moments of dialogue that I liked.
Yeah, for sure. I think that my favorite moment, I'm still trying to figure it out because I still, like, please tell me if you guys have ideas out there or you think what. Okay. I think there's 2 things that could have happened with Silver. And of course I'm going to go to Silver because I like him a lot. But when I think there's 2 sides of the story. Like I said, either he made like the ultimate sacrifice for his crew or he just didn't think his plan all the way through. Okay, so he got his like we saw everything that
Peg
happened.
No,
to his leg.
listen, that's awesome though. Like that was such a like, oh my gosh, that's a Treasure Island thing because he's peg legged.
Absolutely.
He's
I mean, like
Robert Louis Stevenson
they're
is
building it
pumped
right
right
up
now.
in there. Yep.
Yeah.
He's jumping in his grave.
He's
so.
pumped right now, but he's like, okay, so now he's one-legged and the quartermaster. Just like he's not on the walrus yet, but I don't know. I feel like when he got his leg hacked up,
a pirate. He doesn't have a parrot yet either.
he doesn't have parrot yet either. But when he got his leg hacked up, I
Or a
feel
restaurant
like
chain.
either he was making like an ultimate sacrifice for his crew, or he didn't think the plan to steal the keys would have ended up with his leg being chopped off.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
I don't think he thought that was going to happen. He's too after his own.
Self-preserved, like he wants
his
to
own
Well, and that's good.
you
We
know?
actually we've seen this is a shift in
Silver's
John Silver's
character,
character
exactly.
because everything he did this week was not for himself. It was for the preservation of the crew and the men.
But you could interpret it that way.
I do.
As okay, see, and I want to, but his character history so like resonates so hard with me because like, what if he's just trying to live? What if he's just trying to figure out? And then his friend dies with the gold, and so now he's like, shoot, now how am I going to get the gold? I have to tell Flint. I have to. I just think there are two things that could have, like, he
There was-
brewing.
Yeah, I don't think he thought he was gonna get
His leg
No,
chopped off
and-
at all or anything. You know, he's too like
Yeah.
self-preserving. You know. And
However, I'm going to argue with this because I disagree.
I'm on your side. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Okay, good. I'm going to keep arguing because I like to argue. So here's why I disagree. In the scene when he is asked to give up 10 men, leading up to his leg getting cut, he refuses. They kill Vincent. He still refuses. When he's getting his leg chopped up and the knock on the door comes, he makes a comment about, has he seen his keys and has he seen them since you brought me in here? And then he makes a comment about my men. He says the words, my men, and that stood out to me because he doesn't see them as the men. Those are now his men, and those are the people that he looks out for. And I think it sort of led to that moment previously when Billy Bones stood up and he said, that's our brother that you have there.
And I think that's where it settled with him.
And that's because him and Billy had that moment before he was taken away, and every single one of the men stood up when they grabbed Silver, and they were standing in the way of all of Vane's men and refused to let them take Silver until there was a little bit of a fight.
Totally. And they even set that up last episode too, where Silver realized his power. You know what I mean? And again, that could have gone two ways. He could have realized like the control that he had over the men and gone selfish Silver way. Or I really agree with you. I really think that now he's turning into
his
somebody
turning
who
point.
is going to be Long John Silver. I think that I think they've developed that character so well, and like you blatantly see growth in this character. Yeah, he's still a little shifty and like lying about Vincent. We found out his name. Lying about Vincent.
He's shifty in
he's
Treasure
still
Island, though. I mean,
no, he has like that integrity now that wasn't there before. There's like remorse, and he views just like you said, he views the guys as his men.
right, reason outside of just himself.
Absolutely.
And what he's after.
And I don't think that this in the last episode was driven by that when he cut the foresight line. But I feel like he now realizes that it kind of was when Billy was talking to him about it, because had he not done that, and he was doing it purely for self-preservation at that moment, because he knew that they couldn't sail, and if they couldn't sail, they couldn't kill him. They need all that. So there was basically delaying till Flint got back. But now that he realized that it sort of he saved everyone's life by doing that. And so it was like, oh, I did something good for people, and I didn't even mean to do it.
Exactly. He like figuring himself out, and it's a good person he's turning into. I think. I'm
And I
into
think
it.
from an acting perspective too, I think he did with the whole leg getting chopped off scene, did that so well, because we've seen him always just be this cunning, sneaky kind of jokester character, and that was like a tough scene. I mean, I can't
Absolutely.
really imagine getting my leg chopped off with like a dull axe.
It's hard to watch.
And
Yeah.
I liked it that they kind of kept him tough a little bit.
Yeah, and it was
Totally.
That he was still laughing in their face about it. Even I mean, you could tell he was in pain.
But he was like, "It's
But
not that bad. You guys have seen worse." Like,
Yeah,
that
but
was-
the-
but I
like-
think
yeah.
he did such a good job of capturing
Kudos,
the
Luke Arnold.
intensity
Well
of
done.
that
totally
scene.
agreed.
Those good old South Australian actors doing the thing in the acting. Yeah, and I agree. I think that he did a great job with that scene, and I really enjoyed that. You never finished talking about favorite scenes, though.
Oh yeah,
We got rolling
that's
around.
mine.
There's yours.
That's my favorite scene.
I liked Flint and Vane. Well, I liked Vane coming to rescue
Yeah.
Flint. I loved
The
that
whole-
whole
the whole-
sequence.
I
Running
think-
around, dodging bullets and
Yeah.
cannonballs and stuff. I loved that sequence. And I really liked, kind of a more specific part of that large scene when when Vane uses Abigail's journal.
Totally.
You know, because that was a powerful moment when that
when she was writing
you know,
it, yeah.
when she was
and that was
writing
actually a question that the fans had when we had Megan in here. You know, what happened to your journal? And she's like, well, you'll find out. And
and
we
it
said
was
the same
such
thing.
a big deal in that episode when they're traveling back too. You know, she's doing the
like, why did they do that?
voiceover and all that, which stylistically was totally different. And so then we see the big payoff for the journal. And so I thought that was a powerful piece.
Totally.
And I thought maybe, you know, Lord Ash would have kind of changed his mind a little bit, or that could have convinced him a bit more, you know, because he used to have a heart for that. But yeah, no, Dude
was a jerk.
Yeah, and, I mean,
there's no redeeming qualities in Ash, in my opinion.
We saw that at the very beginning of the episode. It started off, and again, kudos to Megan, because that was an awesome scene. She did this as Abigail in the start of the show where she's talking to him, you know, and she's talking to him, you taught me about truth. Yeah, she's spacing out, playing her one note. And, you know, are you afraid that people are going to know the truth if they talk to me? Because I'm going to tell the truth, and it's going to be, you are the one who's at fault here. And the only person who's guilty of a crime is your man, who died. Yes. I kept thinking that he was going to come running out when they were, like, escaping, and he was going to get killed.
Like in some more super
like a
gruesome
sword
way.
fighty, yeah. Not necessarily gruesome, just more of a sword fighty way, you know, because I feel like it'd be more like a one-on-one revenge thing.
Right, totally.
But the way that he died actually was even better.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And think of though, because they delayed because of the whistling noise, and then they got blown up. But had he not delayed, they would have killed, you know, Flint and Vane.
Absolutely. What was your favorite scene?
I like pretty much most of the stuff that took place with Flint involving either Lord Ash or Vane or the trial when he was on the stage, essentially.
Like, we're all monsters.
Yeah,
like,
I love
Yeah,
I love
that
the
was a
line where
great
he
line.
said, you know, you made me a monster. All right, I'm gonna be your monster. And then also I love when Vane, and I said this last week, when Vane says, you know, if anyone's gonna make a trophy of you, it should be me.
Absolutely.
You know, and I like the little moment they had too, where he's like, now you've got everyone watching us. What's your real plan? Like,
Yeah,
like
like
Flint
he
knew
knew.
exactly that this was not his plan all along. And you know,
Totally.
then Vane stood up and did the whole speech about like, yeah, you're gonna be sorry.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
So I
That's
thought that was a
great.
really good scene. Personally, that was my favorite.
Totally. You know what else was a super powerful scene that I wasn't really fond of, but it needed to
I
happen?
agree. I know what you're gonna say, and I agree.
It was the one where, and this is where I like lost all of my hope for Peter Ash, is when he basically was like, look, you can still turn this around. Like, Miranda can have an honorable burial. And Flint was like, I know what Miranda would want. And then he put her casket up, and I thought that was harder to watch than Silver getting his leg cut off. And that was like hard for me to watch. But physically, like, that Flint, you like saw, I just spit everywhere. Flint, you saw in his eyes in that moment, James McGraw's gone. Like, in that moment, he's Captain Flint, and there's no turning back.
Right.
And there was nothing, like, there's nothing left for him as James McGraw. And I thought that was a super powerful, really important scene that I didn't like it, but I thought it was definitely necessary.
And it's, again, I think that's what we got a lot of this in the finale is turning point moments. Because, and I said this last week, and a bunch of people commented on it, and I'm still in agreement with it, that because of Miranda dying, I think we're leading into the most dark days for Flint. And these are the historic days that we now hear. Like, the stuff he did before is going to be like child's play compared to what he's about to do in the next season or two.
Well, and especially with how the finale ended.
When he said, go to the sandbar.
That anger.
He's like, whatever's left,
Just
burn it down.
keep burning it. Basically, they took the boat and took out everything else. Like, they were done. They could have just left. The ships had sank. No one was going to chase them. The city was burning, and they kept firing on the city. And they just were just destroying Charlestown.
Totally destroying
So,
it.
and again, I think that's the dark turning point for Flint that we're leading into for some cool stuff in season 3.
And it's so us versus them now. Like, where Flint, even like Flint, Miranda, Eleanor, all the characters that wanted, I think Billy's the only one left that is just looking for like peace, kind of. I don't even know if he still is. We didn't hear much from him, but it's so everybody, like, when Vane got on the ship, he was like, nope, we're not gonna turn against pirates, not after what happened there.
No prisoners,
it's
no.
So pirates versus their monsters. Like, the pirates think that everybody else is a monster because of the way they treat them. No matter what he said to anybody on that island, all they saw him as is a dirty pirate that did terrible things that needed to die for what he did.
Yeah.
And
But now what's he going to do when he finds out Jack's got all the gold?
Killing.
Yeah. there goes that.
And I disagree a little bit with the Billy thing because, and Billy said before, he said, I don't trust Flint. But Billy sees Flint as the best possible outcome for the people that he's aligned with.
Totally.
So it doesn't matter if they're pirates or thieves or whatever, because, you know, Vane talked about Billy and his character traits and how the quality of person he is, and we talked about it before when Megan was on, how he was, you know, a leveler and his parents had, you know, money, and he became a pirate because he felt ashamed for what he did, and he still has integrity. And I think that his thought process is, this is the safest thing for us. It's not,
Totally.
I don't want to die, I don't want to kill people, but if that's what it takes, that's what I'll do.
Totally.
So it's not necessarily that he like wants to do all this.
No, and I'm not saying, I don't think that's what that's not what I was trying to argue for. I think that Billy is the only one that would still be open to dealing with people that aren't pirates in the entire show. I can't think of anybody else that would be open to dealing with somebody that wasn't a pirate and wasn't on their side after the things that Vane and Flint saw and the men that followed Vane and Flint. I don't know. I don't think that he would directly go to anybody in government.
Yeah, he would maybe talk to Captain Hume again.
He would be a mediator. I can see him
could
mediating.
end up being the liaison, pirate liaison.
Or finding out where the gold is and later stealing the map.
Later, Billy.
Because he does that, in case you forgot. Since you just read the book.
I just read the book.
I know. That's cool. So I actually have another question, though, and since we talked about favorite parts of this episode, I want to know, do you guys have a favorite moment from the entire season?
Ooh, you go first, because
big question.
Yeah, you go first.
It is a big question. My absolute favorite moment from the entire season was the scene when Anne Bonny killed Logan and Charlotte.
That was a sick scene.
And then she had that like total mental breakdown. I thought that to me was it was nice this season because they started building Anne Bonny up a lot, and we got a lot more. We didn't get hardly any of her in season 1, and I think that changed our perspective of her as a character and showed the vulnerable side of her. Because when we got that even in this episode, you know, when she's talking to Jack and she talked about leaving, but then she realized that they're going to die together. They're going to be partners until they're dead. And that's true. They end up being together until Jack gets hung. And
historically, they can't get married because she's technically still married to.
And she doesn't want to get married.
Exactly. But I think that was a really cool scene that we saw, because last week we saw them do their whole violence thing and not really talk, and we understood that that's like their relationship. But it's cool, like the conversation that they had. I thought. Did you like that?
Oh yeah, I like that a lot. You know, they kind of got back on the same page, and like, you know, we're in this together forever, and okay, good.
And I think that growth though happened because of the breakdown that Anne had. Because I think Jack has always been there and been open, and he's the kind of person that's the talk it out kind of person. And Anne never has. She's been very closed off and very sheltered and protected from what she's experienced and the anger that she has and the resentment. And then this breakdown allowed her to like kind of bring those walls down and, you know, open up to Jack and realize, you know, how much he really does care about him, and that they're going to be together forever because they're friends and they love each other and they're going to protect each other and they're going to rule the world. But that scene also was freaking awesome.
That was a really
good scene. I was like, please don't weaken her character by not having her kill him. Please don't weaken her, you know. And I was just thinking that as I watched it, and then she's
killed it.
Yeah,
killed it.
Awesome.
All right, favorite scene. I've figured it out. Okay. When Vane rose from the dead and killed that dude.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
But that was season 1.
I'm sorry. Okay,
this
season was still another Vane one. It's when Eleanor shut the gate. I thought that was like a really important scene that changed Vane's character completely.
On Vane when she stole Abigail Ash from the cell.
When her and Abigail Ash are sitting there, and you just see Vane, and then it pans back to her, and you see her eyes, and you see her make the decision, and you see her shut the gate, and it was nothing was really said, but he pretty much was like, all right, like, you heard, I'm going to come after you and everything. It just was a really cool, powerful scene. I like that one.
Gosh, you guys, I don't know. I loved the end of, I think it was just 2 episodes ago when Vane, you see all his guys in the water. That was just so chilling, I think. And that wasn't a big scene, but when they're in the water. Well, no, but
when it was during the monologue after Richard Guthrie died. Yeah, when the scene. They're reading the note.
Yeah,
they're reading the note about basically we're going to get what's ours and we're going to come back. So be ready. Scene. And that was episode 8.
And I loved that part where they do come back and do the, you know,
that was super
wage their attack. Oh, there are tons. I love that scene as well that you're talking about.
I also liked all the scenes where Max was naked.
Yeah, right? We haven't seen very much sex lately.
They cut the sex out totally the back half of the season.
It's okay. There was like a plot, so whatever.
Also, forget the plot. You know, it's funny because I was watching this episode this week and I was like, oh man, it's like a new day because Max has a new dress on. And then she had another new dress on. So she changed dresses twice.
Oh, can we talk about Max?
That yellow dress was awesome, by the way. How much did I love that yellow dress?
A lot, probably.
I did love it a lot.
I loved it a lot.
She had a blue dress and a yellow dress.
Yeah.
But she had the other blue dress on like 3 episodes in a row.
Yeah, with the different colors.
Yeah, the pattern on it. All right, let's talk about Max. So what do you think Max is up to?
Max is evil genius. That's why I want her to be Mary Read, and I know she's probably not, but I want her to be. Hopes and dreams. Jamie's hopes and dreams.
I read a comment on YouTube, somebody saying that Max and Silver end up getting married historically.
Max
Is this true? Do you know?
That
I
don't know.
didn't even know Max was a
Yeah, I didn't know
historically
Max was a
accurate
historical
character.
either.
Okay, well, we'll have to look that one up later.
If you know, YouTube, hit
Send it to us on the internet and
Hit
tell us
us
all
up.
about it.
I know, right?
Is Max a real? I was under the impression that
No.
Max was not a real character.
because we never
Okay.
got a last name, so that's why in my head I'm like, Max could be a
She could be
badass,
anybody, yeah.
and
She
she
could later
could turn
become-
around and later become, I don't know. But I thought she was like maneuvering, and she's kind of like on top
right?
now.
Oh, she's maneuvering to take
Absolutely.
fill Eleanor's shoes,
And she was
completely.
like buying everything, and she got all the gold. And I just feel like she's right, like starting season 3, she's top dog.
She's the
she
it.
has, but she has the biggest target on her back
She's
too.
the it
Oh
chick.
yeah.
But I think she's put herself in a situation, and she made that comment to Frasier about, people that have power best use it when people don't realize they have power. So like if people don't know that Max has all this power, because she's doing this secretly. She's not doing it publicly. She's going to each individual, making them offers for their shares, buying up the consortium, buying up the tavern, basically buying up all of Nassau in the main, shore area.
She's turning into Eleanor.
That was happening. I'm like, how much money is this in? How much are they bringing in?
Well, I mean, it's a
She's
whorehouse,
got all
probably a
the-
lot.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the
Buy
three
everyone's
places that people
stores.
go to: the whorehouse, the bar, which is the bar she just bought, and to sell their goods. Those
she's
are
monopolizing for
that's
sure.
that's where everyone goes. To this consortium and
No,
all
I think
that. So.
she's playing it very smart, and I think she's done a good job of not burning many bridges. Also,
really
so that
hasn't.
she can get into this position of power, and then there aren't, yes, because of the gold, but aside from that huge thing, there aren't too many people are going to be like, oh, trying to enact
To kill
revenge
her, yeah.
against her.
'Cause she hasn't
you
done
know?
anything to anybody.
Yeah, so she's played it very smart.
Other than Mrs. Mapleton, which we may see,
Right.
Because she's the one that will
She's
be
been a
most
little
alienated.
sneaky.
And we saw, the couple episodes with her, and she was actually in this week's episode 2 for a hot minute, talking to Frasier and the people and figuring out what's going on. So that could be Max's something to look for in season
Okay.
3.
I just feel like
Yeah.
Mrs. Maple would flip in 10 seconds if she knew how much gold Max was bringing in. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. Eleanor, where are you? Nobody knows. Miss Mapleton, you have nobody paying you anymore. What up? Max has 2 ships full of gold. Like,
Yeah, I thought that was awesome that they brought back the Walrus as well.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's the
so,
ship
the colonial-
historically
Yeah.
that Long John Silver will be on. So
And all these
we'll
ships
look for
also,
that.
because Jack Rackham as a captain has like a fleet of ships later, and
Yep.
the Colonial Dawn and the Walrus and all these other ships that they talk about. The Ranger as well,
Yep.
which was Vane's first ship back in season 1. So we're like getting all these cool ships. And
It's really cool.
Looking
The
for-
writers are really, really smart on the show and staying pretty historically adjacent.
Yeah, it's not
Exactly.
accurate.
But you can't be
Ish.
without.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
fantasy. It's fiction and fun, and
Totally.
I wouldn't want it to be historically accurate. That would ruin everything because that
'Cause we
would know
all
what's going to
know.
happen.
Right, yeah.
I hate when stuff based on books is like exactly like the book, because then it's like, oh, I know what's going to happen. I don't even need to watch it.
Totally.
I watch it for entertainment and for like shock and surprise. Were you surprised that they didn't kill anyone this week? For for the finale, like there was
So-
Like
no
a
major
big
death.
death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Peter
Yes.
Ash, I guess, wasn't a major death.
Though,
Okay.
we don't see him actually die.
And in the history of all movies and TV shows that have ever been, if you do not
I know.
see a character die physically, I
You
think
don't
he's
know.
coming back.
He was pretty badly wounded in the stomach, which is probably the most you bleed up.
I
quickly
feel like
there.
if they wanted him to die, though,
They
it would have
would've,
been
yeah.
it would have been so important to see him.
Take
You know
the
what I
last
mean?
breath.
Like do his, like.
But it
bleed
was
out.
powerful to watch him
And we don't know where
laying there on the
Abigail is.
ground, right, in pain, and looking at Miranda's body.
Right. It was very
As his
intentional.
city was
Very
burning.
intentional by
was, like,
Flint,
super
to make
cool.
him have to suffer through all that and see it all go down.
Absolutely.
The
And-
last word.
I totally agree, and we don't know where Abigail is.
She's in Georgia.
Yeah.
They sent
She
her
got
off
shipped
to
away.
We
Savannah?
totally know where Abigail is, and I just made that up completely. I'm sorry I missed that part. So I
That
was
was the
thinking
very
in my
beginning.
head, like, Abigail's just going to
Yeah,
come
Savannah,
in,
Georgia.
swoop her data.
No, so they.
I didn't know she already left, though.
You assume that she's gone because
Right.
her dad
That's
was saying, "I'm sending you
what I
away
assumed.
today to Savannah, Georgia, so that you're safe because you know what's going to happen."
But wasn't that the same day that everything went down?
it was supposed to be that day or the next
Well,
day?
he wanted to get her out of there before
the trial.
the trial and the hanging. So I
Alright,
think it would have
I'm
happened
tripping.
pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
and they would have shown her at the trial if she would
Yeah,
have been
my
there.
bad. I
Yeah.
stand corrected.
So,
Sorry.
so she could be back.
She will be back.
Oh, I think she will. For
I think
sure.
that's going to be a really
Her dad
cool.
just died. She's gotta have, or maybe.
I don't think
So
she's
she's
that
gotta
mad
get back.
about
I
her
don't.
dad
I
dying.
don't. I think she'll be sad, but I think she was starting to see him as
Who
a
he really
different
was.
person. Yeah.
Well, she didn't really know who he was because she's been gone so long and has only corresponded via letter. So that's
Or even, do you remember when they took her the first time and Vane was like, "Does your dad love you?" And she was like, Yeah,
pay
like
the
she kind of
ransom.
said, he'll pay
Yeah.
the rent. Like she didn't like. Yeah,
I
he'll
don't know how to answer
pay.
that. He'll pay your money that you want. Yeah, I guess that's fine.
I don't know. That's like what I thought of the entire time. She was basically telling him like, "Look, this is who you taught me to be, and you're nothing like this person." I don't know. Anyways,
Well, anyway,
Abigail's
as
not
the
there.
city's burning, he's sitting there watching it, and I thought that was. I loved the different scenes of the ship when they had the Man of War because they like. The one time when Vane and Flynn were rowing out, there's like the fog, and you
cool.
just see the
know.
mast like coming through.
I know they start lighting that cannon, and you're like, no, they're gonna get their tiny boat, and then
And you hear the whistle, and they're
through
firing,
the
and then
fog.
then later
Cool.
after that, you see the kind of pan around shot of the boat, and the boat's like drifting, and it's just firing, and you see two
So
boats
cool.
sinking, and the city's burning.
It
And
was really cool.
I
was a
think
great
that
scene.
that rivals the best boat scene, attacking scene ever.
Totally.
I think that, and I think in season 1, episode 6, and episode 8 were the three best fight boat scenes.
Is eight's the one where they envelop, right? I thought that was probably
No,
in my
no.
head.
I'm sorry, season 1, not season 2,
Oh, I'm thinking
You-
from this season
where they took the boat.
I thought that was
Vane
cool.
took
The
over.
I'm
cool
I'm
boat
talking about
scene.
when the boats are blowing stuff
Oh,
up.
boat on boat.
Boat on boat. Because when they actually fight the Man of War the first time before they steal it, in episode 6, there's a scene where there's both boats because there's the Andromache and the Walrus, and that's when they destroy the Walrus and they end up on the island. So
I remember that.
yeah, thinking back to all this good stuff that happened, man, that was
memories.
freaking Mr. Gates. Where you at in my life, Mark Ryan?
Yeah, he was a cool character.
I know, I'm sad they killed him.
Sorry, we're reminiscing about Mr. Gates, but
I
he's
mean,
pretty
that's what we're
cool.
here for. This is the finale, and that's all we have to do is
know.
reminisce about what happened and not what's gonna happen because we have to wait a whole freaking year.
I know.
Gosh.
That is a long time.
Did you think the diary was gonna be burned?
That they weren't gonna.
That they weren't gonna introduce it as evidence? Because he's like, you could just burn it. Freaking
No,
Kingston.
because he was too concerned about saving face in front of the people that he governs.
Which is interesting because we just got that whole speech with him and Flint, like, oh, you took this position because you're a coward. He's like, I could probably forgive that. That was like a total slap in the face. He's like, you're standing here with the condemned men and you can't even own up to what you've done.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was a really that whole interaction.
That justified killing him so much.
yeah.
I was,
I was-
in for that.
I think.
I wanted to learn more about him a little bit though. Like, how did he turn into what he turned into? I was curious about that.
Me too. Why he? Well, I mean, we got a glimpse of it with the whole blackmail thing, but why he stuck to that? You know.
Yeah.
Because it did seem to change him at the core. Too.
Absolutely.
You know, he wasn't just doing what he had to do because he was getting blackmailed. It changed who he was and how he was going to treat everybody and pirates moving forward.
Well, I think he had to fall into a role that was given to him, and now he's like, okay, well, I have to be this guy, so I'm gonna have to do these things, then I'm gonna have to do these things, and he was afraid to be himself. He kept doing the things he thought he was supposed to do.
But those flashbacks, I just had such like a cool picture of Peter Ash in
Of
my
hope,
head
yeah.
because he seemed so confident and so, you know what I mean, like assertive. He seemed like he was that, and then the character we found out was like,
And open-minded. And, you
yeah,
know.
exactly. And the character we have now known what Peter Ash is, I mean, he just seemed almost just defeated and just ready to do whatever anybody would tell him to do as long
Yeah,
as he
that's
was
why I
still in
thought
charge.
when the diary came out that he'd, you know, we'd see some of that old
He might
Peter
stand
Ash.
up and
yeah,
actually fight for Flint and help Flint.
I know, something.
I kept waiting for him to do something to help Flint as well throughout the last couple episodes, and he didn't.
As soon as the Miranda thing happened again, I was like,
Yeah.
all of my
And we're
hope for
done.
him was just later.
I know.
Poor Miranda. The whole episode, I was like,
Miranda.
Lauren's probably dying inside right now. Like, as I was watching Miranda, I was like, this is her favorite character. She's probably so
I
pissed.
know. I'm glad we got to, you know, see her again, and she like got the last word.
Yeah,
in a sense.
that was cool.
She and
Oh, yeah,
Flint,
and
she
yeah.
and Flint did.
The last
Yeah.
thing she'd want from me is to grovel to you.
No, yeah, that was cool. That was a cool scene too.
Yes, there was such. I mean, again, and I unlike you two, I was not disappointed with the finale.
I wasn't disappointed by
Yeah,
it.
don't put words in
We
my
didn't
mouth.
say
Yeah,
that.
you
I
didn't.
just
You were
said I
disappointed. I was surprised.
expected there to be more twists in it, but I thought it was great. It was a very pleasing episode.
It was full of affirmation. Everything in the episode we needed.
Yeah, big set pieces, big explosions.
Totally. I
Lots
just-
of that Michael
nobody
Bay
died.
money.
Vane going.
Yeah.
Hey, he wasn't as
Billy going.
Yeah, Billy did a little bit too.
have a-
So, I love it when he busted into and he killed Jinx. That was like a nice little scene. The quartermaster for Vane,
Oh yeah,
because you know that was
Yeah.
when he came in through the window and like just slit his face.
that was awesome.
Don't worry, we're here for you. The men are here for you, Billy.
I know Billy and Silver are
Silver.
like BFFs right now. They're like the homies on the show. I feel like Billy
Well, and
and
so
Silver are
here's
like,
here's an interesting thought as well, leading to this now development and leading into Treasure Island, because we know that Billy steals the map from Silver based on where the treasure is, and then they go after him. in the beginning, and that's when we get introduced to Jim Hawkins and the Benbow Tavern and all that. So they have to become friends for them to get some kind of plot to get the money. Or to figure out, maybe if they bury the treasure, if that's what Anne was doing and she's spotting places to bury the treasure, or to steal, whatever they're going to do with the map and how they're going to lead into that. Because we do know that obviously Jack Rackham got the gold, which we talked about.
I was surprised they brought it back.
Sparkly.
I know, that was cool.
I love that.
I was surprised they brought it back. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. I don't know. It's just such a huge target on all of them and their crew to bring it directly back to the islands. You know what I mean?
Here it is.
The thing, though, is who's going to take it from them?
You're right.
Because there's not the fort that has the firepower to take down a ship. None of the other ships probably can compare to some of the ships that, other than the Man of War, which is going to come back. Yeah. But like none of the other ships that we've seen, other than the Walrus, which they now have, could hang with them.
But like,
other than maybe Captain Hughes.
Maybe not ships. People, though. I feel like if I was in company with Vane and Flint and Silver and I knew them and I knew their personalities and I knew what they could do and how many people now are on all their sides. I guess I don't know any of that, though. I guess Jack and Mary, or I'm sorry, and whatever, Bonnie.
And Bonnie.
Jeez Louise.
You want Mary Reed so bad.
I do, so bad. I keep
Jack and Anne Mary.
No, but I guess they don't know anything that's happened. They still think Vane and Flint are at arms, and they don't know any developments that have happened with John Silver. But knowing all of that, I would be pretty hesitant. I'd try to be more sneaky, and I thought Jack and Max would be more sneaky. I just didn't expect them to be so blatant.
Well, and they may still be, because they got it back, and now what are they going to do?
Right, and it wasn't part of the plan. I mean, the Walrus wasn't involved until right then,
because they had to.
And Max was even surprised by that. So perhaps they used that, trick them and
ship some gold somewhere,
ship it somewhere else. Or
so and speaking of the gold and all that, and the developments of the new pirate crews and all that, how do you feel about, since we talked about Silver earlier and his development, him telling Flint but kind of lying about what he told Flint, the fact that the character Vincent, that's the one I'm looking for. Since we finally just got his name.
Yeah.
He said he told them that he lied. Yeah. I actually wrote Scout 2, then I crossed it out around Vincent on there. That he lied, and not that Silver lied and had this plan, but that Vincent lied.
Yeah. And the only way it can go bad for Silver is if
there's no way. Nobody knows.
Max does. Max is on the island, and Silver went to Max saying, "Hey, this is what happened. This is exactly what happened. These two guys did this. They came to me."
Yeah.
So in my head, that's the only. I keep wanting to call her Mary, but I'm not going to. But Max is the only one that could screw him. Literally the only person. I don't know if she's even told Jack and Anne Bonnie. I don't know if they are in on it.
They think that they came from the prostitutes and
Max.
The people in the.
So she has so much. I just think she's going to be the most powerful character
to be reckoned with,
or not the most powerful, but the most underestimated character coming into next season, because she really has everybody on the palm of her hand. You know what I mean? There's really nothing that can happen to her unless somebody literally shoots her in the head. What are you? Unless she pulls Miranda.
Hey, whoa! Pump the brakes.
I know. I'm sorry, but unless
don't even suggest
unless
that.
a Miranda is pulled, there's literally nothing that could.
I'm gonna pull a Miranda and shoot you in the head. Also, by the way, since we talked to you shooting Miranda in the head, in the trailer for last week when they showed previously on Black Sails, I watched the shot and it did come from this side and out this side, so it was the right angle for it to come out of her forehead. I assume the guns would have been powerful enough, depending on how much he loaded it.
That little though,
that was a little
baby hole. It was like a little dot on the head.
Well, yeah, I mean the bullet potentially
got a sniper rifle over there.
Well, no, it would have been a lead ball.
Okay.
That would have been melted and pressed.
Okay.
But theoretically, if it came through the skull, the lead fragments could have peeled off as it hit the bone.
Okay.
And it could have came out smaller than it went in.
A little piece.
All right. I guess that makes sense.
I mean,
it just seems so neat. And I'm not a gross, weird person that wants to see a lot of blood,
no,
but I just
agree.
didn't, it felt like it didn't feel that old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, their guns weren't that precise
powerful.
back
Well,
then.
no, I mean,
or powerful.
Because they came out in fragments too, if I'm not
sometimes,
mistaken.
yeah, because
it would look more like a shotgun, is how I'm imagining.
Possibly.
Yeah, kind of. And I know, probably aesthetically that was the best way for it to go down.
Right. That's more the imagery than us
historically
debating about historical accuracy. Well, because I mean, it would have been a musket ball, not a shot fragment. But yeah, the thing that when they changed guns, when they started grooving the barrels of guns, which caused bullets to spin and make them fly straighter, then that's what would have not allowed the bullet to peel apart in the barrel if it did. But the ball shouldn't have. I mean, they were too close, I think. But I was surprised that it had the force to go in the skull and out the skull.
I think it was for dramatic
Totally.
purposes.
It made the most sense for the show.
But again, it also depends on how much gunpowder he put in this gun. If he puts more gunpowder, the shot's more powerful, and has a farther travel range, and especially too, I think guns a lot of times weren't accurate, but people since he's a colonel, he would have had a lot of gun skill. He would have known how his gun fired.
True.
So that's something to think about as well. People that, especially like in that time frame, people that were gunslingers, and later on into the Western time frame, they were better with guns because they practiced with their guns and they knew how their guns fired consistently.
Their gun quirks and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, as a military guy, he might have known that. Plus, he was so close. I mean, how do you miss point blank range? I don't know. So, do you guys have any thoughts on what you think is going to go down in season 3?
So many thoughts.
Whole season predictions.
Okay, let's do it.
Are we? Oh,
We're there.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
I think they're setting us. It's going to be completely different than what we've seen this past season.
Because they gave us all the character shifting at the end of this episode?
Character shifting. I mean, the gold is going to continue to be a key player in the storyline. But I think, we'll have Max, Jack, and Anne against like Flint and Vane.
Be like factions,
in their
if you will.
team,
Yeah, it has to be
potentially.
like 3 different sides. I agree.
Right. But then I think we're going to see Eleanor
Return.
return for sure. And I do feel like she's going to make some allies on the government side of things.
I mean, she does have a family name that is, although not a good one, it is known in England, and people do know the Guthries. So it's possible that she could say, I'm with so-and-so, and we can do this, and let's go back and plead her case, or get hung like a pirate. One of the two.
Totally.
Or does Blackbeard come in, and then all of our pirates that we know decide to team up, and
Disband
he
against
tries
him.
to go against the gold, and I feel like there are just a lot of changes.
Here's what I do hope. I hope that the Blackbeard thing doesn't blow up the way that the Ned Lowe thing did. Like, that was so short-lived.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of hopes for another pirate player that was a high-ranking, well-known pirate player, and having it play out more than 3 episodes. You know, and then really only 2 episodes.
I was totally fine with Ned Lowe just getting killed the way he did.
Well, I mean, I'm glad he did, and I liked that because I liked.
But it was
I hated
short-lived, you're right.
that Brandon Murray's character, his quartermaster, was killed in the 2nd episode by him, and so I was kind of glad that it led into that. But I think they could have done more with it in 5 episodes instead of 3 episodes.
Totally.
Well, and Blackbeard's played by a bigger name actor, so I'm sure we'll see a good amount of episodes with him.
If anything, follow his wife on Twitter because she'll let you know.
It was the character, the actor that played the girlfriend.
Blackbeard's girlfriend.
I'm just kidding.
But it wasn't his role. It's the actress that played the girlfriend on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, jokes. Follow his fake girlfriend.
Yeah, you can hit me up on Twitter and I can let you know what that is. I'm not going to say it on here.
Man.
I'll send it to you in a message.
Also-
I'm not going to be the one that puts that out on the internet. So I'll privately send it to you if you want.
Yeah,
more
we want
information on
Blackbeard. We want to interview Blackbeard, so we're gonna keep that, and
Dude,
maybe his girlfriend
great.
too. So we'll.
that. I'd love
keep
Ray
that.
Stevenson here, something.
Yeah.
So I think that we have had a great season, and I thank you, ladies, for being here with us.
No problem.
Before
What
we
are your
go,
predictions?
Yeah,
What the
wait.
heck?
I don't.
Not just me.
I had a Blackbeard prediction, and that's all I need. Do you guys? So
I-
we're done for a while, for a year.
Does Jamie have some
I
predictions?
have no predictions.
Do you have
What is
predictions,
this?
Jamie?
Yes, I do.
Do you really have
actually,
predictions?
I do this week. Usually I
ahead.
have hopes and dreams, but today I have
Fine.
predictions.
You can go.
I feel like we're all kind of sad, by the way, today.
I'm
like, I
depressed.
feel like our
Sad.
energy is kind of like. "Meh."
We're never gonna see each other
I'm
again.
sad.
Oh man. Okay, prediction. Sorry, quickly. I want to know. Well, that's not a prediction. Okay, I think that.
So do you really have predictions, or do you just have
do.
questions?
I swear. I think there's going to be the recapture of Eleanor Guthrie in some way. I think there's going to be punishment for Hornigold and Dufresne. I think that the Orca Gold is going
I
to be
disagree.
recaptured by somebody, and I think that there's going to be some kind of unknown British Navy factor. And I'm done. Sorry.
Horning Gold was traditionally historically pardoned. So
I know, but I think that in the show that is something that needs to like
That's
he needs
needs
to
to get it.
Dufresne needs to get it.
Dufresne needs
They
to get his
both
head
do.
chopped
They
off,
do.
and
Those
Horning Gold needs to
weasels.
lose a leg.
Totally. Okay, I'm sorry. Those are my predictions.
No, it's fine. I'm glad that you have predictions.
Hey, thanks.
So one thing I do want to do for the fans, since we like to do things for the fans, do you have other shows coming up that you're working on, or actually other shows that you might suggest that fans tune into based on stuff that you like? Since we all like Black Sails, we might like the same things.
Well, other shows that I'm looking forward to. I mean, for AfterBuzz, I'm doing Secrets and Lies, which I'm really digging. Lots of drama, lots of mystery going on there. Also, The Jinx, which is an HBO, true crime documentary. That is intense. Those I would definitely highly recommend. I would also do Battle Creek, lots of fun, police procedural. A new show I'm really looking forward to is Scream Queens.
You took mine. I'm so excited for that. That one was really good. I mean,
so Jamie, Scream Queen.
I'm not working on any other AfterBuzz TV shows just yet. I don't know. I like a million TV shows.
Yeah.
So
Well, that really helped everyone out a whole lot.
Watch them all.
Seriously, I can't name one. I'm really excited for Scream Queens. I'm excited for the next installment of American Horror Story. I'm
always
super into.
Well, Game of Thrones
Ryan
obviously
Murphy.
is coming out.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Don't forget that.
Oh, that looks so.
I mean, that's what I was saying.
coming.
People just need to watch
About
that.
that.
So I personally, obviously, I'm on the Starz bandwagon. So Outlander. Don't forget Outlander. The other show that I'm really looking forward to, I said this before, is Turn on AMC. It's the second season of that. And it's going to get intense.
I heard that was good.
It's really good. It's about spies in the 1777. So not much
History.
time. Yeah,
And
history.
another show that's really fun I just watched on Netflix, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
so great.
It's
Lame.
hilarious.
All right.
Watch it.
So guys, again,
Hilarious.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us at this season of Black Sails. I will be back. I don't know if you'll be back. I may fire you guys for next season.
Oh,
kidding.
psych.
Way to end it,
2016.
Ryan.
We have
Back.
no dates other than that. Black Sails season 3 here at AfterBuzz TV. Until then, ladies, why don't you tell them where they can find out more about you so that we can talk to everyone all year long.
Talk to us. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, my website, everywhere. Lauren Salaun, at Lauren Salaun or laurensalon.com.
.com. Jamie S. Elias.
Well, he just gave it away. I'm at Jamie S. Elias on Twitter, Instagram. I don't really get on Facebook, but that's all.
That is it.
Who's your hooks?
I'm your favorite hooks. Ryan Hooks. You can get me at Ryan Hooks92 on the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and the Snapchat. And then here at AfterBuzz, as always, like I said, I love Twitter probably more than anything. So
Twitter's good.
Twitter's good. Guys, again, thank you so much, and we will see you next year.
Oh,
Sad.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.